Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Just going to get a screen up. We're about to open in a couple of seconds. How's everyone doing today? We're back again, day trading. S&P 500 on New York Open. Boom. Look at this. Lots of buy pressure. Cleared the first gap almost cleared it. How's everyone doing? Sean Evans, I see you in the chat. Cody, good to see you. How's everyone today? Oh, look at that buy pressure. Those sellers at the bottom completely trapped. Let me get up my pen tool real quick. Hopefully there's no connectivity issues today. Hopefully we get a bit better connectivity. I don't want... Oh, buyers, the gap has held. That gap has held. Sellers are trying to come in. Ooh. What do we think? Potential short? I mean, it's a bit early. It might be a short. Buyers look trapped. I'm going to go in for a short quickly. It looks like those buyers are trapped. If we get above those sellers, I'm out. This might be because we've had such a sell-off today. And then this was obviously the gap. We kind of tapped in. Well, it was a gap. It's now moved up to here, which is fine. We can adjust that. There is a chance it could retest, though. But let's see. Come on, can we get... Oh, okay, we've got the point of control at the bottom here, causing a few little issues. But let's see if the sellers can break through. Those sellers there, they're holding the line. Peter, good to see you. Rav, good morning. Oakso, hello, how are you? Oh, the sellers are getting beaten. Are the buyers going to take it again? This is a really real serious battle, but the fact that those buyers at the top there got trapped on the gap, I mean, they can break through. Of course, anything's possible, but I thought, why not? Let's go for a quick short. Maybe we can push down a bit further and continue this massive sell-off we've had. It's still 50-50. But buyers are starting to slowly trade above the sellers. This might not be... Should we wait? All right, let's keep our stop above this high. If it takes us out, it takes us out. But buyers look like they've gained control again really quickly there. And I think it's just about to take us out on the high. We're back in the gap. Sellers are coming in. We'll give them another what's it called? Another chance. Maybe we can get another rotation down. Can we add another contract potentially? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. There's a bit of a lag between TradingView and MT5, but we'll give the sellers another chance. Ange, good to see you. SHF on the open candle. On the open candle. Well. Yeah, I guess it is. You're absolutely right. The open candle is a hammer foot. I wonder if the program, if I turned it on, will it recognize it as one? Okay, it's not recognizing it as a hammer foot for some reason. See, I need to adjust the settings. But all right, we'll treat it as a hammer foot. Well spotted, by the way. I mean, we literally did a hammer foot trade, right? We entered exactly at the close of the candle, so our stop would be, like... All right, let's put a stop then. This is going to be a hammer foot trade. So bear in mind the spread, maybe like that. Hard to say. But that'll be our stop. Let's see. Got some chat messages. Won a few Freddos today. Good stuff. SB Ticker, good morning. How are you? I just want to thank you. I know order flow system I started learning it just 1 month in. I just passed my funded in 1.5 years. Not a single one passed. Amazing, Oakso. Amazing. Noticing Enjoyer, hey to you. And thank you again for suggesting Cluster Delta. I'm 200 up in 10K challenge. Amazing, man. Cluster Delta is decent. I mean, you can't knock it for the price. They're making order flow available for everyone. So fair play to Cluster Delta, man. Fair play to them. Just thank you. I don't know how to subscribe in words. No, you're absolute. Hey, appreciate it, Oxo. Come on, sellers. Let's this looks very rangy today. I think this hammer foot is might fail. We're getting very close to. Oh, look at all those sellers. We need to get below them. I'm gonna up the row size to make it a little bit easier to see. But that doesn't look as good. Again, we're kind of in that weird zone where it's 4 to 8. 4 looks a bit too small. 8 looks a bit too big. It's not perfect, but that's starting to look like a hammer foot. So, let's look at the total kind of structure, what we're seeing. All right, 5-minute volume distribution definitely looks more bullish on the 5-minute. Definitely look at the sellers at the bottom, sellers all at the bottom. It's looking more bullish on the 5-minute. Switch back. 15-minute, I'm assuming will look somewhat similar. I mean, a 15-minute, obviously we got these, but this is, if we're just looking at the open, we're still in the open candle, so it's hard to know right now. Switch back to the 1-minute. Here we go. Let's have a look-see. Let me just move this out of the way. Stretch my arm out a bit. There we go. All right, let's see what we're seeing. We got a lot of sellers at the bottom here. Are they out the market? I mean, their stops are probably going to be where my stops are. So just above this high. I mean, if it clears the high, they get stopped out. And then we can figure out the next potential move. But this is a gap. You know, it is a gap and it held. It's been tested. No, it's the first test. So technically speaking, I mean, we should really short higher up, like, you know, where the gap actually starts, kind of around here should be our entry. But technically speaking, we've, you know, broken through, we're coming back, but, you know, the gap is quite big. It could be anywhere within that gap, and then we could have a potential push down. Oh, something's happening. Let me zoom in. Zoom, about to get stopped out. All right, let's see if all other sellers got stopped out. There's a spike definitely there, but not as big as I expected. Not as big as I expected. It looks like the buyers did eventually take over, but I'm not convinced yet. I'm not convinced. I think it's just a little spike up. I think the sellers still potentially have this. I'm not fully convinced. Yeah, I'm not fully convinced. I might actually look at going short again. I'm going to go short again. I'm not seeing, it's just a lot of volume. Yes, some of it is, you know, going to be stops, but I'm not fully convinced that they're going to break through that easily. If they do, fair enough, but we've got a bit of a better price now. But we are seeing sellers struggling at the bottom here. If not, the next area will be an interesting area. Let me just draw that out perfectly for us. I should really set my stop loss already. 1 minute. Okay, this is no longer a gap. It's kind of been filled with the volume, but that's fine. Come on, zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, let's have a look. I'll look at the chat in a second. Let me just set. It's hard to know where my stop should be. I mean, we're above that candle, a few points above, maybe like that. Hard to know without the actual price. But we are slowly starting to see, you know, sellers are kind of below price right now. These are new buyers, so we want to get below those fresh buyers. If these are stops, we can ignore them. If we get below a lot of these fresh buyers, we might be all right here. So a lot of buyers potentially, sell pressure coming in. We want to squeeze out these guys, but they're not really that big. There's only 277. It's not that big of volume, to be fair. But nonetheless, we want to squeeze them out, you know. That's it. frozen. Oh, no, there we go. I thought it froze for a second. Let's have a look. What a coincidence that I found your live in YouTube 1 month ago. I was struggling ICT trade at the time. Now only payout challenge left for me. You'll get there. Absolutely, Oak. So you'll get there. Don't you worry. You'll get there. Yeah, you're starting to see the sellers are failing to get it below a lot of these buys. These are fresh buyers coming in right now, right this second. We want to trap them. There we go. That's what I wanted to see right there. That exactly what just happened there. That real quick kind of sudden push down. That is what I want to see. And now we need to stay below. Stay below. Don't let them out. But they keep reloading. That was a very good sign, to be fair. But they are reloading these buys. You can see the numbers going up. But that's okay. They can try and reload as long as they're not efficient at actually getting the market up. They are. It was almost there, but they are quite efficient. I think we're about to clear the gap. We just about cleared it. There we go. And then stops are hit. So I'm going to get out before my stop gets hit. There's no point. Very close there. All right, we got the next area. So this area has been cleared. I'm pretty sure it's been cleared now. Yeah, this is long cleared. This has been filled. But that is a nice gap. If you just look at it visually, better than that one. And there's another one up there, but we can draw that out when the time comes. Actually, why not? Let's draw it out now. Let's draw it out now. There we go. All right. This is a much nicer gap. Buyers could potentially have taken control of this market, to be fair. Where are we in overall 15-minute? Are we in a... we kind of stopped at a random place. I'm still going to be a bit more bearish on this. I still think this is more of a pullback than a full-scale reversal. When we get in here, I think I can add a bit more size actually on this one. And if we compare it to the open, around the open where we start pushing up, we were at -735. Now we're at -6. So 1,000 extra buy contracts to move it up. 10 points. Yeah, they're not very efficient either, the buyers. So they're not very efficient. I think once we get into this area here, this is going to be the continuation down, in my opinion. That's what I'm betting on here. First area kind of, it wanted to hold. It held for a bit, but never had that serious enough pressure come in. So let's get to the top here. Let's not one ticket. Let's actually get there. And then we'll add size. So let's read some of the comments while it makes its way up. We just had a huge battle and a subsequent increase on cumulative volume delta. Buyer aggression did not get rewarded until we broke and held 6745. 6745. Where is it? So that was okay, a bit further back. Yeah, where those big sellers were. Come on, don't one tick me here. Don't you dare. Don't you dare one tick me, you absolute. Nah, come on, guys. Come on. That's not fair. That's not fair. That is not fair at all. That is not nice. What is that? 1 point away. Are you kidding me? Come on. Are you kidding me? I drew it perfectly as well. That wasn't even a mistake on my end. Nah, get back up there. Get back up there. That's not the move yet. Come on. Don't take the piss here. You absolute... Nah, come on. Get back up there. That's not fair. Come on. Back up there and then go down. You're an absolute... ES is not my friend today. What are you doing? What are you doing, ES? Sammy, I understand the hammer candle, but you don't consider it being the opening candle. Yeah, no, honestly, and opening candle, I wouldn't want to trade the opening candle normally. I didn't trade it because of the hammer candle. I didn't even actually realize it was a hammer candle until afterwards. But I only jumped in because at the time we had a gap here, right? Somewhere here, like around here. And we had that big buyers kind of get trapped, and then we went below them. So I thought, okay, maybe the sellers can just boom, 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 really quickly push them down with the momentum of the open. But buyers kept coming back in and kind of drifted it up. So, yeah. But generally speaking, don't trade the open. Like the first open candle, that's always going to be a bit dangerous. Hello, good people. Are you going long or short? Well, we want to go short. We want to go short up here, though. 760 is where we want to go short. So hopefully the market can come back up again, because I do not want to miss that. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, Daniel. In my opinion, buyers have taken control. I hope not. I hope not, because there's not really much. I mean, I'm looking to buy down here. I'm looking to short now here. That is okay. We are going up. Thankfully, we're going up. No, well, just as I said that, don't go down. Go up. You absolute maniac. Question is, do I treat that as the gap has been touched? I don't know. I didn't see the volume at the time, to be honest. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking good. This is looking good. I think we're coming back. This is looking good. A lot of sellers at the bottom there. This is looking nice. All right, good. Well done. Goody, yes. Crisis may have been averted. I'll read. All right, here we go. We're going back in. I'll read the comments in a second. I want to see what happens at the top here. All right, we definitely had some profit taken. Again, bit of a spike in volume. Ooh, big, gigantic sellers. I mean, we didn't technically touch it, but I mean, look, that's close enough. But I want to see fresh buyers come in around here to try and get the market up 147, 18 and fail. That's what I want to see before I jump in. I mean, it does look like they're failing. All right, I'm going to go in short. I mean, my TP for now doesn't really matter. We'll figure that out in a second, but I might get chopped up a little bit here trying to catch this move, but it's absolutely fine. I saw some buy pressure starting to fail, but they're trying to push it up again. We're technically not in the area, but we're so close. I mean, what is that? A tick? We literally got one tick away from it, so it's okay. I'm going to count that as the area's been touched. I want to see these buyers fail. All these new buyers, I want to see them fail. And then I want to see sellers get below them. There hasn't been a great deal of buyers, but I want to see them really fail. Especially that 217. I want to see them get squeezed out. Where their stop's going to be if you bought up there, probably below here, right? Below the last low. Okay, it looks like some people are dropping out. All the buyers in this candle, we want to squeeze them out. Come on, let's get below that candle. Really make those buyers nervous. Make them nervous. That's it. All right, we're seeing some of them drop out. See how the volume is spiking? That's some. Let me just highlight everything what I'm seeing. These guys here, that's definitely some of those buyers potentially. Maybe not here. I mean, I think that was more a few take profits. These buyers are potentially still in the market. They may have been stopped down. It's kind of hard because it's a very big candle. But if we can come back a little bit, but as long as we kind of hold this line, it's okay. If not, then it's not the move yet. It's not the move yet. Oh, I just move a bit. Okay, that's looking good. There's some fresh buyers coming in, trying to buy the dip essentially. Again, we want them to fail. These buyers, that's the real buy pressure that I was hoping to see a bit higher up. Now I want these guys to fail. Right, the 735. Let's really get below them, squeeze them out the market. Then we got the move. Come on. So let's just put a line where they are. It's like we're spiking below, but naturally they're not going to drop out just yet. They're going to be a bit more. Realistically, their stops are going to be below here, right? But they might get out early if it moves quickly, or like there's a lot of sell pressure comes in, they might get out early, but they're holding the line. They're still like, they haven't failed yet, right? Give or take, there's like probably a bit of an area, right? They're probably feeling a bit more confident, these buyers now. But as long as the sellers can kind of hold the line, we're okay. But it is a proper battle here. Proper little battle. Come on, let's get below them. Really get below them. Let's really make them fail. As soon as we see that sell pressure spike, we know that they're out the market, as long as it's below them, obviously. As soon as we see the sellers spike, they're still very much in the market, these guys. Come on. We want a bit of speed, You want it to happen fast. Come on. Bit of speed. I feel like they're still in the market. I haven't really seen a massive spike in sellers. That kind of equates to maybe there we start getting a little bit these little clusters here, but still, I still think they're in the market, these buyers. I just want to see like an obvious sell spike happen. I think they're still holding on, these guys. They're not out yet. More buyers coming in. Let's get below them again. They're still reloading. That's another big chunk of buyers that we now need to squeeze out. Right? So these guys and these guys, we need to get rid of, basically. We need to force them out. All their stops are most likely going to be below that low. So we want to get below there, basically. But you really got to keep your eye on the volume, because sometimes the spike can occur, but, like sellers might come in or buyers might come in and distort the number. So you want to, because you're just looking at the delta, obviously. So you really want to see, you see they're coming in still, the buyers. They're not ready to give up yet. They're still not ready to give up. Almost had it. We're getting close to squeezing them out, though. Bunch of buyers coming back in, trying to, really get this market up. They're desperate to get this market up. So they've got way more skin in the game than the sellers at the moment. So they're more vulnerable. Come on, sellers. We got this. We can do this, can't we? There's a bit of sell pressure coming in, but notice the numbers on the sell side isn't that big, right? Buyers are way more eager to transact right now. Again, buyers trying to come back in. Oh, there's a big chunk of sellers. Very nice. All right, let's see if these people can hold the line for a bit, and we overall kind of, don't really get much above them. Because again, imagine if you sold here, your stop probably at the top here, right? Maybe here, if you're really, really kind of, come on. You can see those sellers coming back in, trying to keep this market down. So now we got a bigger seller, we got a bigger person in the market trying to also push it down, which is good. We're seeing a bit of someone taking it seriously and trying to get this market down, which is good. Good news for us. We just have to hope that they're effective, and they look quite effective, especially again, you know, they came in again. They managed to push it down. They're looking pretty decent, these guys. But these buyers are still in the market. They still haven't given up. Where are they? I think it was here and here. These guys are still in the market, and buyers are still trying to fight. Now we definitely got a big seller in the market, and we also got a big buyer who keeps trying to come in and, you know, punish the sellers. So it's still hard to call, but I'm glad that we have like an ally. Does that make sense? Like another big seller who's willing to fight, essentially. But the moment the buyers give up, at the moment they kind of, it's not worth it, or can get out the market and give up, that buy pressure kind of generally stops, right? And once it stops, you get the movement you want, and you stop getting this kind of sideways choppiness, and then you just get a nice, all right, few big candles, boom, boom, until naturally buy pressure comes back in again when they think it's the right time to buy, right? So we just got to squeeze them. But I'm liking the fact that some of these buyers here at the top are looking a bit trapped. Sellers are still struggling to get below here because of that damn buyer, but we might just get rid of them now any second. Let's see if that original buyer, that 735, is willing to get the hell out this market. Come on, we need to get a little bit lower. We're getting very close. Come on. Another big chunk of sellers just came in, but they were instantly, it went back to 148 because there was obviously a big buyer tried to buy here. So we have a buyer and seller here, but there was a big chunk of sellers. It went up to like 400, negative 400, sorry. And then look, it's dropped back down to negative 81. So we can conclude that there was a big buyer and seller on that level. Naturally, buyers trying to buy the bottom of what looks like a range, and it is a range. Makes sense. But we've got to get below that little low here. And I think a lot of the buyers in this market are going to get pushed out. And once they get pushed out, we should have a decent enough movement. Come on, a little bit more. It's taking freaking forever here. Oh, big chunk of sellers there. Now, whether those were real sellers or maybe some of these buyers are exiting, I would classify that as probably, it went to like negative 300 again. I would classify that was some buyers exiting. Maybe it's getting close to their stops. They're probably, all right, get out. It's not looking good. But we do have buyers still willing to buy near the bottom. Again, makes sense, right? People identifying we're in a bit of a range. There's buyers willing to buy at the bottom. And now you're going to get less sellers willing to short at the bottom, right? So there's a good chance you're going to have a little bit of movement up again because there's not that many people interested in selling at the bottom of what looks like a range, right? So you get the sell pressure kind of drives up, but buyers are still willing to buy. So we might need to do another freaking rotation before we can break it. And that's essentially why the range gets created, right? Up and down, up and down. It just comes down to psychology of how people view it, right? A lot of people don't want to, if we get up here, there's not going to be that many people willing to buy generally, especially if you're in a range. No difference once we get near the lows. There's not going to be that many people willing to sell, but there are going to be more buyers willing to transact, right? So we just need heavy enough sellers to come in to stop the buyers. Where was that big seller? They were here somewhere. Ah, there he is. There he is. So we don't want this person to exit the market, essentially. If they exit the market, that's bad for us, right? Now, I don't think they've exited. I think they're still in the market, these guys. But realistically speaking, If we go, it's no different to what we were trying to do to the buyers, right? Realistically speaking, if we actually get above them and those sellers decide to get out, or that seller decides to get out, well, then it's game over, unfortunately. It was a good attempt, but we're not going to get the breakout. Oh, bit of a spike there. Come on. We need sellers to come in, push that market back down. I mean, let me just draw out the high of where you expect. We do have a big seller there as well. Wouldn't be surprised if it's the same person adding, but we'll see. Well, there's a bit of a divergence between the CFD and futures. Are you seeing that? A little bit. It's kind of caught up now. I don't know if that was just lag, but a little bit of a, okay, again, seller coming in. Come on, seller, you need to be effective. These guys here, they're adding. You need to be effective. Let's get this down. Let's squeeze these guys out. Right? These are the new people we need to squeeze out. Same with these people coming in. We need to squeeze all these freaking buyers out the market. But just imagine how many stops are right now sitting above and below these, above the high and below the low. There's a lot of stops, right? Come on. Let's just look at the cumulative really quick. The cumulative, it's not looking great, I'll be honest. It's definitely looking more in the favor of the buyers, because if we're looking at the volume, there seems to be more sell volume in the market when there is buy volume. And we're going flat. So efficiency-wise, buyers are more efficient. I don't like that. I really, really don't like the fact that buyers are more efficient, because that means buyers will have an easier time getting it up than sellers. That's the only downside to this. Come on. This is taking forever, man. Trapped in a damn range again. Come on. Let's break below these guys, the new buyers that came in. They're doing very well. Look, they're adding even more again. These buyers are coming in higher and higher. At first, a lot of buyers came in near the bottom. Now they're willing to trade a bit higher. That means the buyers are more confident. All right, some sellers are coming in that could be potentially, all right, sellers are starting to transact a bit lower. Good. That's a good sign. I mean, sellers are a bit more serious, but let's squeeze them out. Here we go. Let's get below that low. Come on, we're so close. More buyers trying to buy the bottom. Of course they are. Come on. Good. Sellers coming in lower down, which is what we want to see. Let's not allow buyers to bring it back up for another rotation. They're coming in lower down now. They're really trying to hold this kind of area, not let, not let buyers, again, just create another rotation. We should see big amount of stops get hit soon. Anywhere around here, there's a bit of a spike, 250, 220. I still haven't seen a massive spike, 300. There's a big spike. Look at that, big cluster. Big cluster. Definitely some stops have been hit. The question is, it could be a false breakout. So we've got to be, it looks like it might be. Stops were hit and they were instantly bought back. Sellers don't seem to be holding it anymore. It might have been a false breakout, guys. I think it could be. If these sellers cannot hold it down, I think this is a false breakout and it's going to clear out the stops at the top. If that happens, obviously, I'm not going to hold it. If we get above, yeah, we're getting above. This might just clear out the stops at the top now. Going to give them another few seconds just in case sellers are willing. Because generally what you see in a range, right? when we break out the range, you either get a false breakout and it clears out the other side then, or you get like a 50% roughly back to the middle of the range and then it continues. So I don't want to get out just yet, just in case this is where the sellers come back in and then make the actual move. Because we see exactly where the sellers came in. All right, it's looking a bit more positive. Come on. We're still not out the woods yet, because it can still very easily. I mean, we had a little bit of a breakout, but not a massive one. We want to see a clear. That's not nice. I don't like what I saw there. I'm going to have my finger on exit just in case. Look at that. Buyers are happy to come back in again. Come on, sellers. Keep them down. I don't like the fact that there's a big chunk of sellers at the bottom of that candle, because they might exit and release pressure in the market, and then buyers will find it easier to push up. That was a lot of waiting for not much. Come on. All right, come on. Buyers still haven't given up. They're still treating it like a proper range. We need momentum, like a momentum breakout. We need a lot of boom, speed to really push that down. Then we'll be okay. We'll be all right. The buyers are still freaking happy. Look at this. That is kind of a hammer foot, to be fair. That candle there is a hammer foot. I hope the hammer foot holds. All right, sellers are still coming in at the top. I might set my stop loss to kind of like break even, just in case, because I think if we get much higher, is my stop even set? What is going on? All right, for some reason I can't seem to set a stop right now. All right, there it is. Yeah, I can set it. Because realistically speaking, we get much higher and we go to the top of the range again, I think it's just going to clear out the stops at the top. So, and then if it still wants to reverse, I can jump back in. Do you know what I mean? But there's no point potentially getting stopped out and then having to jump back in, because it still hasn't yet. Look, buyers are still happy to come in. They got to hold the line here. Nah, buyers have got this. I think they've got it. Yep, and we've been stopped out. Damn, that was a lot of absolute, what do you call it? Very close, very close. We just need a little bit more. But I think it's going to get to the top of the range now. So let me get rid of all these lines. I'll look at the comments in a second. Let me just delete everything off here. And then we're going to get to the top and maybe have a bit more of a, what do you call it? Like take out the high, I think, get a bit more of a deeper, maybe like a potential false breakout on the upside, and then we could potentially go back down. But let's see. Okay, we got a lot of messages. Efficient. Let's go, Deutsche Menschen. Do you call your trading style as support and resistance plus order flow? Yeah, you could call it that. Yeah. What happened to us? Oops. Where's my... I've lost everyone's message. Ah, there it is. Didn't that happen to us yesterday as well? It happens every day, man. I heard something yesterday. The market is always right. The market is always right. It is true. Hello, MM Crypto. Good to see you, Daniel. Let's go, sellers. There are some passive sellers, but we need to break down 6, 7, 4, 5 to get enough momentum to the downside. Most likely, yeah. I think it needs to go a little bit lower before buyers truly give up. We dipped, but buyers were still happy to kind of buy it. That's it's only like a guide. Do you know what I mean? There's no magic in breaking a low or anything. It's whether buyers see it as, oh, it's how it breaks it as well plays a big difference. You know, if it breaks it with momentum, unlikely you're going to get more buyers jump in because they're like, oh shit, that broke hard. You know, so less likely you're going to get more people buying. But if it kind of struggled and broke it a little bit, buyers might still see it as, no, this is a good time to buy. With bottom of the range, boom, 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 and that's what happened. We didn't break it with a momentum. You know, momentum is important, and we're still very much in this range, to be honest. We have yet to actually, we didn't actually take out the highs yet. And now sellers are, again, happy to transact more at the top. I think, honestly, if we get to the lows again, I think buyers are just going to come back in. I think there's still probably a few more cycles left before something happens. So we're going to wait for a breakout now rather than just trade the highs and lows. In Joker, good morning. These sellers aren't looking good right now. Touch and go, touch and go. Oh, they're coming in quite, that's a bit of momentum. But whether, look, buyers are still happy to come in. I think buyers are just going to push it back up again. I don't think it's the breakout yet. We'll see. It might be. At least you get your Freddos that way. With your stop loss a little lower to cover your spreads. Cherry, hi there. SB ticker, we still have the gap from yesterday's RTH low to close. Do we? I have to check. Coach Z, good morning. I saw your email as well. I'll get back to you as well, Coach Z. Question, do you use paid futures data on trading? Yes, Crypto, we do. Definitely. You got to use the paid futures data. What's the correlation between SPX USD chart you're trading on and ES? I mean, they're the same instrument, essentially. It's the S&P500, and this is just the futures. So that's the CFD version. That's the futures version. But the only difference is literally the price. But in terms of movement, they're 99.9% the same. They're tracking the same instrument. So we might actually get the breakout here. One last little cycle. We might get the breakout. I think it's going to break out. I'm not seeing buyers come in really aggressively anymore. A few buyers, but they're kind of just stopped. Son of a bitch. What a absolute son of a gun. Yeah, we're breaking out. We didn't even take out the high. Oh, well. Good morning, Sammy. Juan, how are you? How are you today? Can you look at, for a moment, gold, just see the data in real time? Absolutely, I can look at gold, and just give me 2 seconds. I personally am going to wait for the internals to flip to the downside. XLK and XLF need to flip to negative to sustain another leg down. Might be better to wait. I mean, until you really see the buy pressure, I mean, there's the stops. There's the stops. Do you see that spike? There it is. Now buyers have been stopped out. All right, so there's all the buyers on the range getting stopped out. There it is. You saw that went to negative 500. They had their stops a bit lower than expected. Their stops were down in that area. So a few points below, essentially. But now look, now it can flood. That is what we were waiting for before. Essentially. That is what we were waiting for. We kind of missed it. Maybe, yeah, I probably assumed their stops were going to be pretty close below that low, but unfortunately, I don't think anyone really got stopped out here. None of the major players really got stopped out. They got stopped out. They had their stops a bit lower this time. All there. You just saw that spike in volume. Now you know that those buyers are out the game. All right, well, what can you do? I should have been a bit more patient, maybe. I wanted to be a bit more cautious because I genuinely did believe when we broke out ever so slightly here, I thought we're just going to go out back to these highs again and then potentially the move will happen. But we never took out the high. So I was waiting for this high to be taken out and then go short. But what can you do? Rav, I sold at 6,700, looking to get to 6,662, 6,700. Where is 700? 6,700. Do you mean 800 maybe? Or are you in like a swing position? Oh, on your left chart. Oh, okay, on the CFD chart. Right. I'm with you. Oh, okay, up here. Well, yeah, I mean that was a great sell. That is definitely a great sell. But think about the amount of stop losses below these lows here. We still have buyers buying because, all right, we broke out the range, but we still got this major low here, right? Low of the day. Buyers are just willing to come back in, get this market up. So they're not completely out of the woods yet. I mean, but I'm not interested in buying until we get down here. 723 on the futures price. I'm not interested yet. Because remember, this is not real sell pressure, right? All this big selling we saw, we know those were just stop losses getting hit. That's not true sell pressure. So on this buy pullback, where all these buyers are buying, you want to see buyers fail somewhere and big sellers get below them, then you can short again, right? Because there's nothing to defend here. This is just stop losses. There's no real position. Do you know what I mean? Come on. I'm a little annoyed we didn't, again, we one-ticked the area. We had that happen on Friday where we got so close and I completely missed the massive sell-off that we had after that. It's been a little bit janky. Little bit janky. Who asked for gold? Someone asked for gold. Juan, that was it. Juan, let's go to gold. Let's have a real quick look at gold for you. While it kind of figures itself out. And so what exactly did you want for gold? Can you look for a moment, gold, just to see the data in real time? Well, the data in real time in gold is always going to be a bit smaller. Gold's not like the futures gold market is really not that. I mean, it's big, but it's not nowhere near as big as like the S&P. But you're only seeing futures contracts. You're not seeing the full gold market, right? So the volume you're seeing here is essentially just a sliver of the full market, right? So that's why trading like the footprint on gold, don't get me wrong, it can help you, but I wouldn't put that much emphasis on it. Do you know what I mean? Just because the volume, like it's not the full market. So you're better off looking more kind of longer term kind of moves for gold. Really look at like 15-minute kind of structure. Like we had this huge push down, and look for areas where, you know, like little gaps where it could potentially. But I mean, gold, damn, gold's been on a sell-off, hasn't it? Been in a real sell-off recently. Phew. So I hope you got to see that one. Much better if you're going to get into like footprint trading, honestly. NQ or ES, those are really the only two instruments you really want to focus on. Everything else, don't get me wrong, you can use it, but it's a hell of a lot harder to trade the footprint on gold just because you're blind for a lot of it, you know? You don't truly know what's going on. Like, look, there was no buying happening. We didn't see any buy numbers, but the market's going up. That's because there's buying elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? It's not actually in the futures market. right? So it's kind of it's do you know what I mean? Footprint on forex. That would just be tick data, I think, because forex doesn't have a centralized exchange. So if you go to like XAU, it's just going to be tick data, right? XAU USD. This is literally just tracking the ticks up and down. So it's not real volume. This is just, there's no such thing as like people getting trapped and all that. Like that whole concept wouldn't work with tick data. Does that make sense? So again, I mean, you could probably use it in terms of like if you have some other strategy that's looking at, I don't know, loads of little ticks maybe in one area or something. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass here. But if you had some strategy that could use tick data, then yeah, sure. But not in the way I'm trading. Hi, Sam. When we have the situation like these days where the ES and NQ are closely correlated to the oil price, do you put much emphasis on that or not really? How should a trader navigate that? Great question. Again, I never really trade oil. I'm not a fundamentals guy at all. I avoid all fundamentals if oil is going, very correlated with the NQ or the ES or inversely correlated. All right, fine. It doesn't really change the way I trade. Does that make sense? Because I don't know if there's an edge in that. I don't know if there's like I've never really tested it. I don't know if there's any kind of statistical edge. I mean, if there is something that you've seen or heard or found out, absolutely, use it in your trading. But me personally, I've never looked into it, so I don't know if there is an edge. What does it mean if oil is correlated with NQ? If it's inversely correlated, what could that mean? How could I translate that into a trade? I don't know. Do you know what I mean? The only thing I know is just order flows, the data. That's the only thing I know. Unfortunately, I don't have any other talent apart from this. That's literally it. I have no other talent. Buyers are buying the low though. But I don't think it's going to hold. I think we're going to break through. Because again, you're just not seeing sellers really come in right now, and of course not. So why would anyone short at the low? That's why you get, the market slows down whenever you get to kind of lows and highs in major areas, because who's going to short right now? Like it's just not a good idea to jump in for a short when we're just above the low. It doesn't make any, like, mass majority of people are going to wait for the break, and then they'll start looking at shorting it. So you lose sell pressure, and so there's just not much sell pressure really coming in. Don't get me wrong, there's a few people willing to short, especially if there's a bit of a pullback. There's a few people, all right, they're happy to short, but you're going to find more people willing to buy because we're at the low. But as long as those buyers don't make that much more of a, as long as buyers kind of struggle and eventually give up and say, actually, maybe it's not worth it. And then if we drift up a little bit, more sellers come in, then we can get enough momentum to break through. So momentum is actually very important. How the candle form, like how quick we get to areas, makes a big difference, right? Like the only reason we broke through these lows here is because we had momentum on our side, right? A lot of momentum occurred in these two candles where there were buyers were starting to get hesitant to buy into that, right? Whereas earlier when we were in the trade, we didn't have that momentum. Like we technically broke the low, but there wasn't really that much momentum compared to, here. Like the speed, like, yeah, the candles are quite big, but took time to create those candles, right? They didn't get created with much speed, whereas these ones were very quick. The buyers were, it spooked people more. People were less willing to actually buy because it looks more dangerous, And that's why, all right, there was still a little bit of buyers came in. There was still a few brave folks trying to buy the bottom, but there just wasn't enough to hold it back, and then boom, all their stops got hit. So momentum matters. So there's you might hear a lot of people say I'm a momentum trader. That actually does matter quite a bit, especially in scenarios like breaking out of ranges, breaking out of stuff. Like if it breaks out with momentum, you're going to get a lot less pushback on the other side. It's like here, there's momentum. There's a bit of momentum, and again, stops are being hit, right? Not a great deal amount. I think there should be more. Well, a lot of stops would have already been hit before when we. There you go. Look at all those stop losses cleared out in one swoop. And now, like, there's just nothing. That's the momentum. Buyers aren't interested in buying that much. You're gonna get less buyers willing to buy. And even when you see little smidges of buying, I don't think that was necessarily true buyers. I think that was, sellers who were in the move manually exiting. We had this quick move candle down. People, literally sellers, not taking profit. Well, they are taking profit, but not like as a take profit. They're manually exiting the market, right? So I don't count that again. Look at that. Everyone's being cleared out. Everyone. All right, we're in the first. I believe it's a gap. I need to double check. I can't remember what the hell I drew now. Let me just go 15-minute real quick. It's not great. It's not the best gap. It's a tiny gap. So I'm not going to put too much emphasis on this, actually. But let's see. All right, shit ton of sellers. A lot of that's going to be people's stops being hit. A lot of, naturally, there's going to be a lot of people chasing the move as well. We've got some buyers coming in. They're not a lot, though. We want to see a wave of fresh sellers try and come in, fail, and then we can buy. So we're just looking for sellers right now, like these guys here, 185. These are fresh people. Fresh sellers. All these people are fresh, right? There we go. That's a nice big chunk of sellers right there. Let's see if they fail. If we get above them, squeeze them out, then we can get a pull back to the upside. If not, but I genuinely, I want to see them fail, but they haven't failed yet. It looks like they've held it. Doesn't look like they're failing. Oh, big chunk of sell volume. I think that must have been take profit, maybe. Are these going to be take profits? If I zoom out, is there anything there that makes sense? Oh yeah, look, we got these lows here. Of course. Ton of take profits being hit on the sell side. All right, cool. So we know those are sellers taking profit. So again, not real sellers. Right? All these guys here, they're all people taking profit. Cool. Got back down to negative 100. It was like negative 500. So now if we anything above, this low here, and if we get sell pressure come in, we know those are real sellers, legit sellers, right? I'm also going to treat the current buyers potentially as some fresh buyers. Some they're definitely a bit fresh buyers, actually. BlackRock. Did you see 666 earlier? Oh, 6 on this. Yeah. Look at that. That's Black Rock's level right there. Black Rock level. I think it hit it to the T. Holy, yeah, it did. Look at that. That is Black Rock right there. Anyway. At least you got one talent, Sammy. I can't even claim that. The Sammy Hammerfoot candle at 1 was right. Oh, there was a Hammerfoot. Did I miss it? There's one. There's one. Oh, that's a really nice one. Yeah. Are you going long at 6723? If yes, why? Not yet. Not yet. But it's my first area of interest of where I potentially want to go long. So I'll only go long. Okay, we see some fresh sellers coming in. Now the question is, are these guys going to get trapped? It looks like they're getting trapped. I should jump in for a buy. Shit, don't run away. It's extended a bit. Okay, I'm going to go in for a buy. Kind of missed it. So now the idea is we don't really want to get below that candle, right? What the hell is going on? Why is my internet stopped? Okay, well, my MT5 has crashed. Hopefully, am I still live? Let me know if I'm still live. I can't manage my trade right now because my MT5 has decided to stop. Yeah, I am live. Okay, good. MT5, what are you doing to me? Oh, it's woken up. That's not making much sense. Come on. Update to where we are. I got it. Dude, what's going on here, man? What's going on here? I entered. I think the price is we've missed a candle, right? Wait a minute. Red, bullish. Oh no, we haven't. It's just that candle's a bit. The wick should be a lot higher. I think we've got up a bit higher on the wick. All right, it's fine. I think the price is potentially right. We'll see. Got a little bit confused there. What are we talking about? Yeah, so we really don't want to get much below that candle. But obviously, to be safe, like your stop has to be below the low. But we should get, because we saw sellers fail, the fresh sellers. We want to see some buy pressure, keep this market up. Obviously, be prepared to get the hell out because this is definitely a seller's market. I'm going to look for the next area of potential, Oh, that is a ridiculous gap, guys. We're in the gap. Frickin' hell. Okay, well, I'm going to be super cautious going forward. Hopefully we clear it. Hopefully we just clear that. Oh, that's good amount of buyers. Okay. I think that's probably sellers getting stopped out. Some sellers are holding, getting out. So that's okay. That's what we want to see. Oh, we cleared it. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, we didn't fully clear it, but we got close to it. See if we can keep above. But any sell pressure, I'm getting out because I don't know. I mean, we got two gaps. We've rejected off that one. Ideally, we break above that gap quite a bit. There's going to be a pullback into it, most likely. Oh, shit. What's that? I don't like that. You bastard. No, I don't like it. Because it's not real buy pressure. I think that's a lot of sellers getting stopped out. That's not true buy pressure. And we've got sellers willing to short it again. We are in a gap. This is where you got to ask yourself, do you get out with a bit of profit or wait for it to get you out of break even and for a pullback and maybe another It's a tough one, man. This is a really tough one, but I don't think they're holding this. I think they're out. All right, fuck it. We're going to try and wait. I'm going to try hold through this. I think it's a bit annoying that the gap was so damn close. You know, if it was a bit higher up, it would have been nicer. But the reason I'm going to hold it is because I think this gap can hold a bit more. I think it might just be another retest into it. Buyers might come back in a bit lower down. We know those are not legit buyers. They're more likely, you know, sellers who are trailing this move down anywhere where they got in and probably getting out manually, you know, on that candle. So I'm not taking that as real buy pressure. Therefore, getting below those buyers is not the end of the world. We got a shit ton of real sellers coming in. So all these people have got a lot of money in the line. So over 1,000 contracts on the sell side are legit. Same with these guys here. These are all legit, right? Because if buyers can get it up above them, you know, get above here again, push it up, then yeah, these sellers are out the market. So we did have some buyers willing to, you know, quite heavy ones. So let's hope these guys can kind of hold the line here. But considering how bearish this market's been today, it's going to take, not a miracle, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot, I think. But I'm hopeful. We're seeing the buyers come in, but they're struggling, man. These buyers are struggling. Look at that. They're back down to 196. Yeah, sellers are just too eager. Too eager. I think that was pretty much the pullback. That's all we're going to get. And all we've done is we had a pullback into a gap that was created, and we're getting a continuation. I don't think the buyers are going to hold this for much longer. I think they're done. These are all fresh sellers. They're very eager to. The question is, do I let myself get stopped out? The chances of getting stopped out, I think, are quite high now. Especially if we get below that black line, I think then it's gone. If we get below those original buyers, I think it's gone. So we get below that black line, I will manually exit, but I'll let those buyers, give them one last opportunity. But honestly, I'm not hopeful that they're gonna come in. I mean, they might do, but I'm not that hopeful. I mean, just as I said that, some of them are coming in, but the volume is still not great. All right, 300. Push back to 200, back to 3. There's a bit of eagerness here. Come on. But sellers are just wiping them out. They're very aggressive. There's potential. All right, there's a bit of volume from the buy side. Good. All right, they are. Okay. I spoke too soon. Buyers are a bit. But the question is, can they break the high? Can they squeeze out those fresh sellers? Or are those sellers going to defend? We're not out of the woods yet. It's these guys we need to get out the market. All of them. We need to get their stops. Realistically speaking, where is their stop loss going to be? Let's try to figure this out. I think it depends. I think there's going to be, people, because we're very bearish, I think they might have their stops quite quite close by, maybe around here somewhere. A lot of people, really kind of people looking for longer term, not longer term, but more intraday moves are probably going to have their stops a bit higher up, above that high there. We'll see. But no, look, sellers are still willing to sell. Buyers gave it one last. Oh shit! My MT5 is frozen again, so I can't manage to trade anymore. Oh wait a minute! I can use it on my phone, can't I? Let me try that. Because then I can at least manage to trade and get out if I need to. All right. So I've got it up on my phone. Oh, I've got so many messages. I will get to the messages after this trade. So yeah, this black line here. If buyers cannot prop it up, it ain't happening. Doesn't look like it. I think they're kind of giving up now. Which we're not getting that buy pressure come in. Earlier, we had 450, 358, another 400. We had that buy pressure. They're losing confidence, but again, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it regardless. Let's see what we get on. Autumn, good to see you. Charis, how are you? Daniel, why did you enter now? What did you see on the footprint? So Daniel, the reason I entered was I just want to keep an eye on this freaking trade because we're getting one moment. I'll explain it in a second. My fucking MT5 has crashed again. Dude, what is going on? This isn't good. It's definitely something to do with my connectivity, man. You know what it is? I think it's going to sound stupid, but I think this might be the problem. Ever since I started using this program for the pen, like this just gives me the ability to draw whatever the hell I want, right? But for some reason, this actually takes up a lot of like resources and memory. And every time the CPU gets used quite a bit, like my internet becomes weaker. Probably someone technical in the chat will be able to explain why, but I really don't like that. Look at these buyers trapped, man. They failed. I think this is the Armageddon. I think we're out. But yeah, ever since I started using that program to draw, it's kind of messed up everything. I think we're out here. Yeah, buyers are trapped. We're going to break through. I haven't seen their stops be hit yet, but I think their stops are going to be below that low, like where mine is. And I can't exit because it's frozen. But I got a stop loss set, so it's okay. It should be fine. Oh, there we go. We've woken up. Fuck it. We'll let my stop get hit because I haven't seen those buyers get out, but it's very unlikely now. Very, very unlikely. But do you know what I mean? Like for some reason, using that program slows down my computer a lot, and then for some reason that affects my internet. But it's such a good program because it allows me to like, highlight stuff. Like I don't know. But let's look at the chat while this works its way out. Oh yes, Daniel, you wanted to know about the reason I entered. So the reason I entered, Daniel, was right. So we identified that volume was sellers taking profit, right? That was TP because we hit those lows from previously. right? If you remember, there was, when I zoomed out, there were lows like further down. I mean, further back, further to the left, there was a bunch of lows here, and we hit them. So naturally, that's a lot of take profits, right? That's why that spike occurred. But that's not true sell pressure, so we ignore them, right? Now, anyone coming into the market within, above the area we just cleared cannot be take profits, right? Because these people can't be take profits, because otherwise they would have already been triggered here. So we know those are real fresh sellers, right? Same with these guys. These could be potentially take profits, so we kind of ignore these guys because they broke the low. And then we had buy pressure come in, good. But we want to kind of get above these guys because these are the real sellers in the market, right? And once we started seeing them fail, especially these sellers here, we start seeing more sellers fail. That's why I wanted to enter quickly, because then that is a good chance that those guys here, these guys, all these fresh sellers are going to get squeezed out, and we could get that kind of move up. Oh, they just about held it, the buyers. Didn't even notice. All right, buyers, but we're back into that gap. I'm still going to... All right, so now we know those are... These guys need to hold the line. These buyers here, they cannot fail. They have to hold the line. These are my allies now. Well, all these guys, in fact. This whole big chunk of volume. They're my allies. So are these guys. Let's pop up above them and let's squeeze these sellers out for a move up. All right. Are you guys trading only? Yes, I started using Peter's hammer. At the moment, yeah, we're only trading ES. On MES, still got Sunday gaps. Oh, really? Selling NQ. Haha. Hope you good. Okay. It's beautiful. I drag stop loss to entry immediately after it goes up, and then target 1 to 1, 1 to 2. I also tried to create a code via Lux Algo Quant. Amazing, Sharif. Did it work, the code? And give me indication the moment the 1 minute candle closes. I used screenshots and asked to make the indicator, but was not very accurate. Okay, gotcha. Try using just like Claude AI or Chat GPT or whatever. Because I was genuinely surprised. Like, I built one. It needs a lot of tweaking. Like, okay, it's kind of a hammer foot, but it's not really. Again, I wouldn't call that really a true hammer foot, but it did recognize the ones that are true hammer foots. Like this one is perfect. That one, not so much. That's like a really good hammer foot. It does recognize the good ones. It just also calls out ones that aren't really proper hammer foots. So I need a bit of tweaking to the code, and it should start working nicely. Let me just catch up with everyone in the chat real quick. Head and Shoulders buy. Yeah, it's very good. It's perfect method of execution when your levels are met. Definitely that as well. Sammy, do you respond to messages on Instagram as well, or just here? I do. I just, sometimes I don't. To be fair, a lot of time when I look at Instagram, you know what the issue is? Instagram's, whenever someone messages me first and we've never had a conversation before, it puts it in some hidden folder and I don't get notified. So unless I go into my DMs and check that hidden folder, I don't recognize that people have messaged me. So I should look, to be fair. And then if you have messaged me, I'll see it and then be like, oh, sorry. But then once that's been like, once I've replied, it's fine. Do you know what I mean? What's going on? Oh, look at those sellers come back in on that gap. Yeah, the buyers, unfortunately, man, they're struggling, these buyers. I don't think they've tried and they keep trying. But we know, again, those sellers are not dangerous, but they're potentially vulnerable. The good thing is we've got a big build-up. Oh, my God, look at those sellers. That was ridiculous. What the hell happened there? 411. I want to know if we actually broke that low. That could have been buyers getting stopped out because we just about broke the low, but it's very tight. Whether buyers would, I don't know. Let's look at each individual level. I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily stops. I'm not fully convinced. I think those were actual sellers trying to sell the breakout. I think these sellers are fresh sellers trapped, and we could absolutely take advantage of them. I think if buyers get enough momentum, that might be the move. Buyers need to get a lot of momentum quickly. If they can get momentum, because I think those people sold because we had a lot of momentum on the sell side here on this candle. So they felt like, oh, breakout, and they got in a little bit too early, instantly trapped. I think they're dropping out, though. The people who sold the breakout, I think that's them getting out the market. The volume kind of matches. I think those sellers here have just been exited the market. These guys are probably sweating a little bit. Let's see if they get squeezed out. I think this could be actually the move. I think this is the start of a potentially a very good move. This could be a very nice move, but we need more momentum, though. Our momentum is a bit lackluster right now. We'll see. Sammy, Ninja Trade is a really good platform. It is a good platform, and it's coming soon to Ola Prime. It is coming soon to Ola Prime as well. I believe when scalping on 1 minute, it is very accurate and extremely order flow based. But if you trade like machine gun at every hammer, you'll eventually lose. Yeah, I think there has to be a few criteria. If you take every single one, I mean, whether in the long term you'll find it'll be profitable, I don't know. You need a lot more data. But if you add logic to it, beautiful. I've been using it for about 12 years now and never had any problems with it. Good stuff. Well, it could be your computer. It's probably my PC, to be fair. 5 minis in, legs are shaking. No doubt spyware. Yep, BlackRock. Change your computer to one of Intel Core processor, the best available right now. Okay. Seems like your Wi-Fi consists of a guy standing on your roof holding his arms up on a coat. There's been a few problems with my Wi-Fi recently. No idea why, but what can you do? Oh, Holy Earth. What's up? Thank you for the donation. Didn't see it until now. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. NQ goes first and ES follows. I just bought that last hammer. Looking for buyers. That was nice absorption. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about that 400 at the bottom. That was really nice. But they're still at it. These sellers aren't giving up. But I think there's been... Oh, if we look at the cumulative... No, it's flat. The cumulative is flat. Started around negative 14,000. We're still at negative 14,000. All right, the cumulative is still flat. I know you pay attention to the volume gap. I would call them relative low volume nodes as areas of rejection. Do you also consider that high volume nodes are magnets? Yeah, high volume nodes, I would look more for like kind of like take profit levels. But I'm very wary again. Like if we have like this point of control, let's say hypothetically we start pushing up, right? And there's no gaps in volume and all this is just normal. I know there's a gap right here. It's moved up a bit. But let's just say hypothetically, we get up and we get to that point of control. Yeah, naturally, I'm going to be very cautious up there because I know there's going to be some reaction. There's going to be something, whether it goes, a bit of a pullback, whether it's a reversal, whether it's a, it slows down, we start consolidating. something is going to happen generally at the point of control, really high volume nodes. So most of the time, I'm happy to kind of exit at the high volume node. Whereas gaps, normally there's a rejection on gaps, but they can also, break through very quickly. You either usually get rejections or they do actually break through quite easily. And then you get that kind of pattern. So especially when a gap is quite low down, like this one. Like I'm going to put less emphasis and worry on that gap than the ones higher up now, Let me just see what's happening with the volume here, because we're still going up and down. But those all in all, I'm starting to get a bit more confident on these buyers. Truth be told, ever since that. Now I know that person's out the market, but that would have worried a few people, I think, when they saw that. Oh, that was bad. So, and again, I know that's not real buyers. That's those sellers getting out. But these are real buyers. These are real sellers, and we beat them. Candle for candle, we knocked them out. These are real sellers, and we could potentially just about beat them now. So when it comes to like one-on-one battles, buyers are actually doing a bit better here. Again, fresh sellers coming in. Let's see if buyers can get above them and keep that kind of momentum going. Again, my MT5 is slowed down. There we go. Come on, MT5. What is going on, man? Well, something's not right now. How's it showing a bearish candle and that's bullish? Oh. There's a bit of a now it's caught up. It was just a bit slow. It's caught up now. It's MT5 being slow. Sammy, what about the GEX to confirm first the reversal? Truth be told, I know nothing about GEX, Valm. Something I would really need to start studying, but I would not be the best person to ask about that, unfortunately. Good morning, it's Suzuki. Sorry, not Suzuki. Oh yeah, that we're seeing a few. Yeah, we definitely saw a spike in volume just above these little highs here. That's definitely some stops being triggered, but the real volume, we're definitely seeing some sellers getting out the market, getting stopped out. Buyers are starting to make a bit of progress here. But look at the number, go back down to 151. That means there's still sellers willing to transact. We didn't have enough momentum to really scare the sellers from wanting to enter. Sellers are still happy to enter because it didn't have enough momentum. It didn't have enough it didn't look scary enough to move up, So sellers are still like, oh, okay, it's cool to enter short. It's got to look scary. The more scary it looks, the less likely someone's going to, Are you talking about this hammer foot, Charis? That was an amazing hammer. That was a really nice little. That kind of gave me a little bit more, because when we were coming down here, I was like, I'm gonna get stopped out. I think this is bad. Then this happened, and something's gone on. Let me see the volume. That kind of changed my perspective on things. Oh, we saw 400. There's definitely 500. People are getting stopped out. That was a bit of momentum as well. I think we're getting some buyers getting out the market as well, potentially exiting at the top of the range. But we want to see more buyers fill in their shoes and jump in. Come on, let's break these highs now. Let's fricking punish some of these sellers. Here we go. Come on, momentum. Give me momentum. I will get to the chat properly. I see a few messages from SB Ticker, ZT as well. I'll get to all you guys in a second. This is interesting. We're definitely seeing the volume spike. Stops are being hit. Good. Naturally, there's going to be stops maybe a little bit above the last high. There's some big chunk of volume. We are getting stops hit. My MT5 has once again frozen. So even if I wanted to exit, I couldn't. More stops being hit. There we go. It's woken up a little bit. We're getting to that first area. You know, this whole area here is the first kind of area of the last high. So let's see how it responds in this area. We're getting, again, more sellers dropping out. These are all sellers getting the fuck out the market right now. Anyone holding. Sellers trying to short it. Buyers potentially getting out as well. There's going to be a lot of confusion. Bit harder to read. I wouldn't call all of this necessarily fresh buy volume until we start breaking these highs. I think buyers are going to be more happy to transact and see this as a bullish market. My MT5 is frozen again. It's very hard to manage a trade when it keeps freezing. Because even if I wanted to exit, I couldn't. This is the first area of problems here. The only issue I'm having right now is I don't know who's actually a fresh buyer. I don't think these are fresh buyers. I think these are all stops. We're getting a fresh wave of sellers. I might... that's a lot of sell pressure coming in at the high. We never took out the high either. Naturally, we do have a gap a little bit higher up, which I think we could actually touch, to be honest. Let me look at the 5-minute volume distribution, because that is a lot of sellers trying to come in. But I think the buyers are starting to wake up and they're starting to realize that this could be more than just a pullback. That is a lot of sellers. I might have to get out here, to be honest. Yeah, I think the sellers have got this volume. All right, buyers are starting to transact again. All right, let's see if these buyers can hold it, because these are fresh buyers. We know that these are all fresh sellers. Oh, they got... All right, buyers are coming in here. This is where buyers are happy to transact. All right. So we want to stay kind of, you know, above that black line now. Let me get rid of this black line. That's old. Otherwise, I'm getting the hell out. Sellers coming in fresh. $300, $400. That's a lot of sellers. If they start failing, this is good for us. This is very good. Come on, buyers now. Add your volume. Let's squeeze out all these bastards. All these guys we're going to squeeze out. This is where our new stop will have to be, just below here. We can have our stop loss now. Because we know that's where buyers want to transact. Come on. Let's get momentum again. My MT5 is frozen, so even... I should really put my stop then here. I think it's not even going to update though, is it? Oh, there it is. It did update. So with the spread, maybe like there somewhere. Otherwise, this is just a pullback and then a continuation back down again. But I'm seeing potential here. Let me look at the 5-minute real quick. I mean, you can literally see all the sellers from this candle here. Anyone who didn't get out earlier on, so many people getting out at break even, right? It's just a mirror image of itself on the other side. So we know there's a lot of sellers out the market now. The question is whether they want to jump back in and sell again. They did a little bit, but not as much anymore. I think they're slowly starting. Just as I said that, there was a bit of chunk of sellers coming in, but it's not. Buyers could take this, actually. We could potentially break these highs. We could potentially break them. And we could get to this gap. But this gap would really be the area where I'm kind of worried. Because I do think we're going to have a decent reaction here. So MT5 is frozen again. Freaking hell. Hearty, I will. Oh, look at those sellers. I will reply in a second. Look at those sellers coming in heavy. Let's fail. We want them to really fail dramatically. Good. Boom. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Do you see how they tried to push it down and instantly we got above them? And it happened quick. That is what you want to see. That's true buy aggression. Not taking any bullshit from these sellers. That was very nice right there. Very, very nice from the buyers. Because we had a lot of freaking sellers come in there, 500 plus. They couldn't completely fail to even, a tick or two down. That was really nice from the buyers. Really, really nice. And that's essentially what the hammerfoot candle is. Do you know what I mean? And then look, once the sellers are out, boom, that momentum comes in quick. That is what we wanted to see. All right, we're getting to the excuse me. Getting to the first I mean, I could really have my stop below that candle now. I can trail it below there, maybe just give a room for the spread. But realistically speaking, I'll be looking to get the hell out around up here because we did see stops get hit again as we broke that high. Hence why the volume, look at that volume. But the volume's increasing, even though we've already touched it, meaning it was at 500. It's gone to 800 now. Those are fresh buyers, 900. These are actually, a lot of them are fresh buyers coming in. So we know that some of these people, they're not all stop losses. They're actually fresh buyers. So theoretically, they should really hold the line above here if they're effective. Because that was 500. Now it's 940. So call it 400 extra buyers came in. Fresh buyers. There are some sellers. Naturally, I think some buyers also who rode this move getting the hell out at the highs here. Or that could have been take profits, to be honest. Actually, that would be a lot of take profits. That would make somewhat sense at the highs here. I think those are a lot of take profits, actually. Maybe not fresh buyers. I think I misread it a little bit. We've touched the gap. We're getting the pullback. I'm going to take the money because I think there's going to be a reaction on this gap. And I do think that was a lot of take profits. But all right, let's look at the chat. Let's see what I've missed here. Close my phone now. Do you consider electronic trading hours For instance, we made all-time highs and overnight, but not in RTH. Some people believe RTH is the only true gauge. What is your opinion? That's a tough one, SP Ticker. That's a really tough question. I always use just the electronic hours. So again, I can't really have an opinion on it because I wouldn't know. I don't have enough. I would be basing opinion on, like, I don't have enough of both. Do you know what I mean? I never really play around with those settings, so I couldn't tell you, my friend. And I don't like giving opinions on things when I genuinely have no clue about something. Do you know what I mean? I wish I could read the charts the way you do, Sammy. Amazing. Yeah, just a bit of practice. Like, it is easier, not easy, but like it becomes like learning a new language essentially. But then after a while, you get more fluent. But I still make mistakes all the time. Like, every day it's a learning curve. Thank you, Coach. You are still the best. Thank you. Thank you, Vom. I am out of the buy. Good stuff, Charis. When this hammer formed, I closed my sell and got in the buy immediately. Amazing, Charis. One time framing down is over now. Good work. Can you access your cell phone MT5? I can, yeah, but I did have it up, to be fair, on my cell phone, Sean. Sorry, kannst du mal kurz zeigen, wo du die Low Volume Node aus dem Volume Profile rausholst? Ich habe immer andere gaps. Okay, so Harty's asking, can you show how you got your gaps on the volume profile? Because he's got different ones. So this is actually the session volume profile, right? This blue and gray one is the session volume profile. So this is just the start of the session, electronic session, and to the end, right? So it's constantly updating as time is going by until the end of the day. And I'm literally using the gaps formed from this session because we had a very good trending day. So I'm quite happy to look for pullbacks into those areas as potential, places for it to retrace from. As for the one at the bottom, I think that was again another session volume profile from a few days ago. And the only reason I drew it out is because it formed. If I go to the candlestick, it's kind of there on both days. Like, you can just about see it there. It's not great, don't get me wrong. But it held there, kind of rejected again there. It kind of made sense, that one. And then it never really, we never really came back to it. So oh no, that's a different one. My bad. I'm looking at a different one. This is the one we just traded. But again, it kind of had reactions in and around, and it rejected off there again. So I thought, okay, it's still, why not keep it on the chart? But otherwise, if I was going to do a volume profile, I would do it like that. But there wasn't really much in those areas. Like, there was a little bit of a gap up there, but it's kind of in the same area. There's another one here, which kind of lines up to that one. So they're all sort of lining up to each other. So I felt there was enough data just on the session volume profile for me to draw out the gaps. Does that make sense? W in the chat, sir. Thank you. Order flow is really more of an art because of all the assumptions that are made. In the end, intent passive participants is never truly seen. Exactly. Yeah, you never really see the passive participants unless you see them in the book. But then I never put much emphasis on the depth of market nowadays because there's so much spoofing. Everything is an iceberg order. The numbers you're seeing in real time is all just like, do you know what I mean? People constantly spoof. Every order is an iceberg order, so you're not really seeing the true data. Like, you're seeing the true data, but you're not. It's hard to make decisions based on that. So I rather look at the depth of market by just always remembering the opposite side of the trade, right? Like, all these aggressive trades, there's 941 buyers. There's also going to be 941 sell contract. I mean, these are additional, right? The delta on the aggressive side, but there will also be an equal amount of sellers on the other side. So passively. So there's got to be sell limits, right? There had to be 941 extra sell limits that got triggered. That would line up to a buyer's take profit, right? Because a buy take profit is going to be a sell limit exactly at that high. Yeah, of course, it's going to be, if the volume spiked exactly on the high on the buy side, I actually misread it in real time. I misread that, right? I thought they were fresh buyers, and I remembered, actually, no, wait a second. We just touched the high. They're going to be buy take profits, being triggered. So even just the delta footprint, you can actually read both sides of the market as long as you apply logic to it. And then it makes sense. Hi, Sammy, how are you? Is it normal that my Ola Prime C-Trade account is frozen? I can't even buy or sell at the moment. What is happening there? Your C-Trader account is frozen. Like all day it's been frozen, or is just there's a connectivity issues right now, Mastro? Because if it's C-Trader only, it might be an issue with C-Trader because obviously we don't own the platform. And it might be, other platforms as well who are using C-Trader will have an issue. So it could be like a bigger problem. If it is, then it's something out of our control, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? Because our servers don't actually handle that side of things. I missed the floor. Yeah, I do miss it as well. Since 30 minutes. So it's completely stopped 30 minutes. Check on like X on Twitter if other people are having issues with C-Trader right now. Because then if it is, then it's unfortunately it's a C-Trader thing. Do you know what I mean? And as annoying as that is, there's nothing we can do right now. Let me check for you. I'm not seeing any C-Trader issues, to be honest, on Twitter. All right, let me pass this on to the team right away because it might be then something. Might be something for us. Let's have a look. I'm going to ask the right person right now. Up and running for C-Trader right now. Okay. You just don't want me to make profit. If other people's C-Traders are working, then it is our issue, and I've just flagged it now, all right, to the team. Because I checked on Twitter as well, C-Trader, there was no reports on C-Trader, so I don't think it's I think you're right, it's not a C-Trader, so it might actually be on our end. In that case, any if there's any, like, if you lose something or something, we'll take responsibility for that. So don't worry too much about that. And I flagged it right now to the team, so hopefully someone is right now on it and figuring out what the hell's going on. Okay. Yeah, speed ticker. I missed the floor as well. It was good times. So this gap, like, look at this. This is just such a joke. Every time I don't take the trade off a gap, it always gives me like how perfect is that? It literally touched it to the price point on the T. Right up there. That's where the gap started. But every time I do want to take the gap trade, oh no, yeah, like up here somewhere. Where was it? Right at the top. I can't remember where it was now. Oh, the gap moved a little bit in the meantime, but yeah, then all of a sudden, it doesn't quite touch it or whatever. Or like this trade, got quite close to the bottom there a few times. What an absolute joke. This is the market for you. Yeah, it's a continuation. I think we're going back down again. I think it was just a bit more of a pullback. Took out a lot of sellers, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. But oh no, we do have a gap here, don't we? Yeah. So we've just touched the other side of that gap. This gap could still hold. We're just seeing rejection right now. Truth be told, it's very difficult to read now. And the reason it will be difficult to track and read is because, so naturally we had a shit ton of sellers all down here, right? All this moved down, loads of sellers coming in everywhere, right? Boom, 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 boom. As we moved up, a lot of the buy volume we were seeing was going to be also a lot of sellers getting stopped out from this leg down, right? So we don't know truly how much buy volume there was in this area. Very hard to know. Except for, whenever we get like a slight pullback like we had here, we can estimate how many buyers came in. Like on this pullback here, all the buyers that came in below that low, we know are fresh buyers, right? And they're not sellers getting stopped out necessarily, because they would have been stopped out all here, right? Unless it's some of these sellers getting stopped out. But the likelihood is those sellers are going to have their stops higher up, and these buyers here, those sellers getting stopped out, right? So we know that's all real buy volume. Then we had a bunch of take profits at the high, great. But now that we got this move down again, how many of these sellers, now we have the same issue, how many of these sellers are actually a lot of these buyers getting stopped out? There's going to be a mix. Do you know what I mean? Of course, there's going to be some real fresh sellers coming in, but it's hard to gauge exactly how many of these sellers are fresh sellers at this point in time. So it starts becoming a little bit more difficult to read when you have these when you've had made big movement, big swings, all within the same area. It starts becoming a little bit more difficult to track who is who. On Discord, people are complaining about CTrader. Okay. So if on Discord, then yeah, they're definitely aware of it then. They should be aware, because that's constantly being monitored, Discord. There is another website like Forex Factory, which we use for checking the news. Do you know it? I forgot the name. Yeah, Financial Juice is the website, Oxo. Financial Juice, as in the stuff you drink, juice. I'll be fluent in English accent soon. We're approaching the VWAP that was anchored at the low of the day. Interesting. Yeah, it becomes very difficult to read when the market is in that kind of, because like I explained a minute ago, hard to know who is who now, but also just in terms of structure, right? A lot of people are going to be seeing this as, oh, this could be a bullish reversal, bit of a accumulation, distribution. This could be the pullback. Are we going to get another push up now? Other people will be viewing it as, oh, well, this is clearly a downtrend, right? Pullback down, lower low, now lower high, and a continuation back down. And it becomes a little bit, everyone is kind of, has a different idea of what is going on. Market Watch. Yeah, Market Watch is another one. That's another good one. Also, the bot said that there are some problems with CTrader with Ola Prime at the moment. Okay, then yeah, it is our issue. I promised I'll get it fixed. It acted as nice support so far, bounced right from it. Good. VWAP added again. Where are we? Where are we? I'm going to look at the 5-minute. I mean, that looks very, very bullish, that candle. 20 seconds to close. That looks very nice. But there was a candle earlier when I was in the trade. It was these guys here, yeah. This candle right here. This was beautiful. Because in real time, definitely one to look back at in real time. Because that volume there on the sell side went to like 500, I think, negative 500. And instantly, the buyers just went above them, knocked them back down to 288 and never came back to them. Like that was the candle I was saying, oh, that's really good. That's really good. That's beautiful. And then the same again, we had the same kind of candle, the same kind of like, real time with that one as well. The same thing happened. So sometimes when you see it, you really know, oh, that one's really good. Like in real time, seeing how quickly those sellers got trapped and then instantly the buyers went above them. They never let them out. Those candles are amazing. So if you can code, not just the Sammy Hammerfoot candles, but if you could code a way of tracking the actual time, does that make sense? If there's a way of coding, if you see, a bunch of sellers, this is for a bullish signal, come in and definitely, look at the timestamp of when this happened. This was, my time. If you go back in the live stream later, 14:49 my time on this candle, because I called it out live as well when it was happening, and this made me have a bit of confidence that we're actually going to go up again. But if you can get an EA to also like count how many seconds price actually spent when there was a big chunk of sell volume, if it only spent like 1 second or 2 seconds there and then instantly went above that sell volume, freaking hell, that adds so much more weight to it. Because just how it closed and how it looked can be a little bit deceiving, right? Because you don't know exactly how it formed. But if it didn't spend any time, a bunch of sellers came in, one big chunk of sellers came in and then instantly failed, and we never spent much time there, and we traded above them, and then buyers came in, that has so much weight to it. So much weight to it. And we had that happen twice. We had it happen on that candle and again right here. And those are the ones that, really spark off the next kind of move up. Because those ones, you don't even have to do a 1-to-1 if you're going to do the EA. I would definitely look at, 1 to 2 minimum on those, or definitely back to the next high would absolutely be okay for a trade like that, for those candles. But the thing is, it's not how it closed, it's how it formed in real time. So I might try and get that coded in to the indicator. I don't know if TradingView can do that, if it has the flexibility to actually count how many seconds it was at each level. Fingers crossed it can, because if it can give us that ability, we can have such a more accurate EA then. Because I would be willing to, add so much more size on, like, tell the EA definitely extend the risk reward and add a bit more size on if those criteria are met. Barry Ubus, I'll work on it. Hey man, if you can get that made, DM me on Instagram. We can get all together, or send me an email, sam@olaprime. I'll put my email in the chat. We can all work together on getting this thing made. We can sell it. We can put it as a monthly subscription. We can all share the profits. I'm happy to work with anyone in the chat who's willing to participate and, put their mind to it. That sounds great to me, man. So if you can track the time it spends at a level where large volume is traded, if more than average time than possible absorption iceberg, if less than average time, then the buy is very efficient and go. Let me see if that makes sense. Well, I have to think about it. If more than average time absorption, yes, exactly. No, you're absolutely right, Peter. Bingo, you got it. And then if less than average time, then the buy is very efficient. Exactly. You'll see exactly what I mean if you go back to the recording after this stream is done. Just watch it back. Make a note of the time at the bottom here. So this candle is the 1503. It happened on this candle, 1503, and also happened at what was it? 1449 candle as well. Okay. I'm going to make note of it as well. 1449 and 1503. Those two candles, I spotted it. It happened, and they're the ones that would like if you can just get it coded to pick that out. Oh god, that would be a great EA, man. That would be such a good indicator. Are you sure average time would be a good measuring stick? Yeah, maybe average time. I don't know, but maybe because I don't know if it should be hard coded, as in like it has to be under 2 seconds or it has to be under. I guess maybe like the last, or even if it can just give you like a time distribution of every cluster. Again, I don't know if it starts becoming impossible to code. I mean, nothing is impossible, right? But like say it spent, all right, so obviously this is 60 seconds, right? We know that from the get-go, 60 seconds per candle. Say it spent 20 seconds up here, 10 seconds here, 2 seconds here, and then whatever the remainder down here or whatever, right? Then okay, wow, 2 seconds only. This is by far the lowest time spent, but it also has a shit ton of sell volume. We know that instantly rejected very quickly. And as long as we're trading above it and buyers are above it, we know that's a bullish signal. Now, naturally, of course, if that was also the reverse, then we know it's a bearish signal, a sell signal. I don't know which method or how to approach it would be best, but essentially, if it's like instantly, just rejects it, doesn't spend any time there, that's a huge signal, You should throw all the coders into one collaboration. Absolutely. I need to get everyone. I know 2 people have contacted me so far, Peter and I think it was AJ on Instagram. So anyone else who actually wants to genuinely be part of this, and we can all share the code, obviously, and we can try and modify it and whatever and play around with it and put our heads together. Because I'm liking what I'm seeing, like ZT content, what you're saying, because it sounds like we need to almost immediately move past the sellers and buyers. Like thinking of different ways of how we could approach it is definitely a good. So yeah, if who wants it above Barry Bark? I'm going to call you Bark. Well, I'm going to call you Base. Actually, that sounds cool. Base. B Base. Yeah. If you want to contact me as well, on my Instagram, email, Holy Earth, of course, email's absolutely fine. Just let me know what your username is so I know who you are when you do message me. I'll put together like a group, whether it'll be Discord or something. I'll figure something out, one area where everyone can get together. And yeah, man, we'll do it. Maybe Discord might be a good one. How's Discord sound for everyone? Is everyone happy with Discord? Then I'll put together a Discord group for that. Or like Telegram. I don't know if Telegram is something everyone uses as well. So I know you can do quite a bit with Telegram. Telegram, yeah. All right, fair enough. We'll do Telegram. I'll create a Telegram group. So just like send me on Instagram or by email your Telegram username. If you don't have one, just download it, create it. All right, cool. We'll do Telegram. Yeah, so just DM me on Instagram or email me, sam@olaprime, your Telegram username. I'll put everyone in one group and we can do it. Awesome. All right, let's do this. It's going to be fun. So Holy Earth says it can definitely be coded. Good. I hope so. I will try to code it, but I'm not sure to understand all the rules. I'll watch again in the video. Yeah, just watch back like those timestamps. Like I said, you'll get what I mean. It's very hard to kind of explain in real time, but you'll get what I mean. When you see it happen, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Thanks for this new live. Very good, man. Thank you for this, Morgan. No problem, Hearty. Cheers. I'll see you tomorrow. But we've done about 2 hours. I mean, the market again is just kind of, we're just messing around between these two areas. But I think we'll call it there. Make money online, yes. For the futures, there is activation fee. Sometimes we have like a promo where there's no activation fee, but normally, yeah, there is an activation fee. It's all in on the future site. You'll see that. But guys, we'll leave it there. Be back tomorrow again. Remember, if you want to be part of building this EA, then drop me an email with your Telegram username or DM on Instagram with your Telegram username. I'll get you all in one group tonight. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. I'm really excited for this, man. It's going to be awesome. All right, people. Everyone, take care. Thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.